If you don't like today's MacBooks, due to Apple's flawed butterfly keyboard or some other reason, this isn't a list of machines you should necessarily consider as a replacement. Although in one case you might be able to. Here are the inarguable top 5 Apple laptops of all time. Number 5. The 1991 PowerBook 170. Comparing a 1991 laptop to one of today's portables is a fool's errand, well, maybe a blogger's errand. But the PowerBook 100 series, of which the 170 was the highest spec version, was a game changer on a level that's impossible in today's laptop climate. While people had been toying about with the portable computer form factor for a while, Apple's 1991 PowerBooks turned notebooks into a mainstream technology. The PowerBook 170 came with a hefty price tag of $4,599 in 1991 money. However, for this you got a computer that weighed just 6.8 pounds and could do just about everything you'd manage on a desktop Mac. Maxed out, the PowerBook 170 rocked 8 megabytes of RAM and a 40 megabytes hard drive. It came with a floppy drive, internal modem and an attention-grabbing trackball. Its active matrix display was the retina of its day, considerably sharper than the fuzzier, passive matrix displays on lesser models. These laptops arguably marked the time Apple became a mobile-first company. Granted only a fraction of the marketing budget for desktop Macs, the PowerBook became an oversized smash hit for Apple. In its first year, the PowerBook line generated more than $1 billion in revenue for Apple. In 1992, the PowerBook helped Apple soar to its most successful fiscal year to date. Apple continued to make history with its innovative, fresh laptop designs over the years. But while some of them were more about appealing to the masses than to hardcore Mac fans, the PowerBook 170 served up a great blend of looks and power. Number 4. 1994 PowerBook 540C. There aren't too many times in Apple history that fans could legitimately argue that the company's laptops are better than its desktops. However, that could be said in 1994. That's the year Apple launched its PowerBook 540C, one of the best laptops in the company's history. The PowerBook 540C brought the world's first 16-bit portable display. At the time, Apple claimed it may well be the finest screen ever to grace a notebook computer. While its 9.5-inch, 640x400 resolution display looks primitive today, it was a stunner at the time. With a color-active matrix display, Apple's QuickTime video software and the PowerBook 540C's built-in stereo sound, this was the multimedia laptop you wanted in the mid-1990s. It wasn't just about looks, either. This was the first Apple notebook to include a 33 MHz Motorola 68LC040 CPU. Its RAM was upgradable to 12 MB, which was again very impressive for the day. In benchmark tests, it ran an epic 80% faster than the fastest previous PowerBook. Oh, and the trackpad was a big upgrade over the previous trackballs of Apple laptops. Number 3. 2000 Pismo PowerBook. I've always had a massive weakness for the Macs of the 1990s. Sure, this was the period when Apple came perilously close to the end, but it would be wrong to blame that on the Mac. With the company focused on upgradability and high specs, the 90s was a great, if occasionally frustrating, time to be a Mac user. By 2000, Steve Jobs had been back running Apple for a couple of years. The Pismo PowerBook, however, combined the innovations of Jobs-era Apple with the heart of a classic 90s Mac. It introduced USB and Apple's revolutionary FireWire. But it was also highly expandable, which made it a great Mac for the long run. The Pismo PowerBook proved great for multimedia. It sported a 400 MHz PowerPC 750G3 processor with 64 MB of RAM. On the ports front, users got a PC card slot, 2 FireWire and USB slots, S-video out and more. With dual batteries installed, the laptop could support 16 hours of real-world usage. On the downside, it was a bit of a backbreaker. It weighed 6.1 pounds, which was reducible if you removed the DVD-ROM module. Its polycarbonate plastic case was less futuristic than Apple's later aluminum creations. But its curved design compared favorably with other laptops of the day. This laptop was a turn of the millennium winner, and well beyond, too. Number 2. 2002 Titanium PowerBook G4. I love the Pismo G3 PowerBook, but the Titanium PowerBook G4 was even better, a rare sequel, like The Godfather Part 2 or Aliens, that surpassed its predecessor. Sure, the $3,199 price tag felt exorbitant in 2002. But with all due respect to Luther Vandross and Janet Jackson, the best things in life aren't always free. The PowerBook G4 boasted a luxurious, extra-wide 15.2-inch display, marking the first time Apple made a widescreen laptop. It also featured an 800 MHz PowerPC G4 processor, support for up to 1 GB of RAM, and an RT Mobility Radeon 7500 video chip for graphics work. Combine that with a DVD, CDRW combo drive and a generous 40 GB of hard drive storage, all packed into a new, lighter-weight titanium form factor. Even approaching 2 decades on, this laptop still looks extremely attractive. If you were drooling over a laptop in 2002, chances are it was this one. How do I know? Because I'm still kind of drooling over it today. And the best Apple laptop of all time is the 2015 15-inch MacBook Pro. The 2015 MacBook Pro doesn't necessarily enjoy the name recognition of other computers on this list. It wasn't the first in a series. It didn't benefit from an amazing Steve Jobs keynote that blogs trot out every year on the anniversary of its introduction. But it was a great, great computer. In my opinion, it's the best laptop Apple ever built. Apple introduced the 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro series shortly after Steve Jobs died, in June 2012. The company then refreshed the line multiple times in the following years. However, the mid-2015 upgrade reigns as the undisputed champ. The productivity powerhouse, the top-end 15-inch MacBook Pro boasted an upgradable 2.5 GHz quad-core Intel Core i7 processor. It added new fast flash storage, a superior battery, a Force Touch trackpad and an AMD Radeon R9 discrete graphics card. The design felt solidly rugged. The screen looked as stunning as ever. The keyboard didn't make you want to throw your new MacBook across the room in a fit of rage. It came with a plethora of ports, including MagSafe 2, 2 Thunderbolt 2 ports, 2 USB 3 ports, an HDMI port, a 3.5mm headphone jack and more. It was an easy computer to love. The next year, Apple introduced the controversial MacBook Pro update with the flawed butterfly keyboard, 4 USB-C ports and a touch bar as a replacement for the function keys. Apple discontinued the 15-inch 2015 MacBook in mid-2018. However, you can still pick it up second-hand online. Of all the computers on this list, this is the one you might actually want to consider as your 2019 MacBook Pro alternative.